How's it going, guys and girls? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy, Axel Williams now, man. Yeah, well, we're talking about, today we're talking about, so let's get straight to it, Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, the trailer dropped, obviously, about a week ago. It's obtained 33 million curious minds. 33 million curious minds, and I was one of those 33 million curious minds. We're not curious as in, oh, this is going to be a good film, this is going to be exciting. More curious as if to say, they're making another Jurassic World film, what the fuck? And let me watch it so I can see how shit it looks. And I watched the trailer for this film, and look, Scarlett Johansson, look, as an actress, yeah, fair enough, she's not bad. I personally don't think she's bad. I don't think she's a particularly fantastic actress. I'm not going to literally salivate over her acting talent, but look, she's alright. But look, the first thing I've got to say is, you know, back in the day when you watch trailers, you know, you'd be kind of sitting at home and you'd watch a trailer that appeared on TV or whatnot. And back in the day, when you say watch the trailer for, not necessarily all good films, but you'd watch the trailer for, say, the prequels to the Star Wars movies, like Revenge of the Sith. You'd see the trailer for Phantom Menace. I remember when the trailer for the Phantom Menace dropped, everyone was like, oh my god, this is so exciting. Obviously the film was a pile of crap, thanks largely to Jar Jar Binks, wanker. But look, Jurassic World Rebirth, the only reason I'm watching these trailers is because I'm kind of curious. My mind is curious in a way of, how shit is this film going to be? How shit does this film really look? I'm not even contemplating anymore that the film might actually be good. The only thoughts that are going through my mind when I'm watching these trailers these days is how crap of a film this is going to be. And that is the only thought that's going through my mind. So when I watched the Jurassic World Rebirth trailer, my first thought was, this looks crap. It's going to be crap. When I watched the trailer, I thought exactly the same thing. I thought it looked crap. They've obviously replaced Chris Pratt. They've replaced Bryce Dallas Howard, who of course were the leading stars of the previous three Jurassic World movies. Jurassic World, what's the second one called? Is one of them called Dominion, some shit? Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and Dominion. The only good bit of Jurassic World Dominion for me was actually when the credits rolled at the end of the film. I thought, thank God that's over. The actual Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, the only bit I thought was quite funny, I think it was in Fallen Kingdom when you've got that dinosaur with a long neck, the Brachiosaurus, that's literally walking on the pier, and the explosions and the flames and smoke are coming behind him and they engulf him and kill him. Everyone was probably crying. Everyone in the theatres around me was like crying. I was like... But the one criticism I always have, and I've made a few videos on this, when I'm talking about modern franchise films, you know, the big name movies, the Star Wars movies, the Toy Story movies, the Jurassic World movies, you know, if they ever, and they will, believe me, they will, when they make another Harry Potter saga or whatnot, because these things are going to happen, trust me, is they're made for one reason only, and that is for money. The only reason that they are making Jurassic World Rebirth is not because they want to keep the franchise alive, it's not because they absolutely adore the legacy and they adore the name Jurassic Park, you know, they want to continue this thriving legacy, they can't let it die. No, it's nothing to do with the fact that they want to maintain kind of the name. They don't care about maintaining the actual credibility of the franchise. It's all about money, because we all know that Jurassic World Rebirth is going to be a pile of shit. It's an absolute fact. When I saw the trailer, it looked cheesy as hell as well. Why is it as well that CGI seems to have gotten worse? CGI these days seems to have gotten worse. You know, when you watch CGI from back in like the early 2000s, 2006, 7 onwards, you kind of... I remember when I watched Transformers, the first one with Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox for the first time ever. Megan Fox, woo, yeah. Anyway, back to Transformers. But when I watched Transformers for the first time, what I thought was, Jesus Christ, the CGI is unbelievable. You know, look at the special effects, the CGI on Megatron, you know, Optimus Prime. You're thinking, this is unreal. They're literally having like a massive fight in the street, and it looks literally like I could literally walk down the street and see that happening. It looked that real. You know, honestly, the buildings getting smashed up, they were throwing each other, the way the lighting shined on their armour, it was just like, it looked fantastic. And CGI these days seems to have taken a step backwards. I remember looking at the Velociraptor in the Jurassic World saga, Blue. I think her name was Blue. There's a bit at the start where she's like chasing a hare through the woods, and I'm thinking, it looks crap. It looks cheesy. It looks a bit cartoonish. It's almost like they've taken a step back from, you know, actually making a proper effort. You know, when you watch films, like I said, back in the early 2000s, there seemed to be a lot of effort attached to every aspect of the film in terms of CGI, apart from the prequel Star Wars film, because George Lucas really fucked them up. George Lucas over-prioritised CGI in them, and it didn't even look good. But apart from that, you know, you look at films like Transformers, you look at, obviously, the original Jurassic Park film where the T-Rex breaks out of the enclosure in the pouring rain at night. It looked unbelievable. Has the new Jurassic World movies actually came a long way from the first one? Yes, they have, obviously, in a lot of ways, and obviously if they were to take proper care with the special effects and CGI and stuff, it would look a lot better than what it does at times. But I always feel like these big name films these days have strict deadlines, so it's almost like everything feels rushed. You know what I mean? It's almost like there's not enough care taken with films now, because when I see the trailers for these films, you know, you see certain scenes and you think the CGI looks really good, and then you see another scene and you think it looks really cheesy. You know, it doesn't look real, it looks a bit cartoonish, and that was the case with this saga of the Jurassic World franchise. You know, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. Some of the CGI at times look fantastic, and then other scenes you'd look at it and think, that looks cartoonish. And this new, when I saw the trailer for this new film, Jurassic World Rebirth, the only thing I thought was it looks cheesy. The CGI doesn't look particularly... I mean, it looks good. Look, it's never going to look awful when it's a massive budget film like that. But something's missing. There seems to be a bit of heart missing from these films, and there seems to be a bit of cutting-edge effort missing from these films. And, you know, not to mention, the whole films just feel Hollywoodized now. The cheesy aspects of them, the cringe humour, when people tell unwanted jokes. You know, there was so much of that going on in the, you know, the last saga of the Jurassic World movies. So much of that cringe humour going on. I call it cringe humour, because I absolutely hate it. It was also in, you know, the Marvel films. It was in the modern saga of the new Star Wars films. Jokes at the wrong times, you know, when a massive 30-foot dinosaur is chasing you and he's about to eat you, and you literally like cracking a joke, and I'm thinking, and then I've got people behind me in the theatres laughing. I'm thinking, shut the fuck up. What are you laughing at? It's not even funny. I mean, honestly, I've taken funnier looking shit. I just don't get why people even find that stuff funny. It's not funny. Honestly, it's not funny. I could crack a joke to you guys right now on camera, and it'll be a lot funnier than any of the jokes you saw in those modern day Star Wars saga or Jurassic Worlds. Give me a second to think of one. Bloody hell. Why was the astronaut claustrophobic? He wanted more space. That's a shit joke. But look, it's that's a really bad joke, actually. I don't know why I heard that before. But look, it's honestly, these films now, they are literally just mass producing these big names, these big titles, because it makes money. I read quite recently that they're doing another Saw film. You know, I love Saw as a franchise. I think it's an absolutely fantastic horror franchise. One of the most original horror franchise ideas I've ever seen. But then you kind of spin the yarn too much, and then you kind of run out. That tends to be what happens. Every franchise does it. You know, Star Wars has done it. Star Wars is finished. You know, Return of the Jedi, that was it. The story has been told, but yet someone comes along and thinks Star Wars is too big to be left alone. We can make a hell of a lot of money out of this. Let's carry it on. Same with Jurassic World. Same with Saw, same with the Halloween franchise. They're just mass producing these big name movies because they make a lot of money and it attracts audiences. I'm not going to lie, I don't go into any of these films now, and not once, honestly, I have never once thought, since watching since watching the modern Halloween 2018 and so on, the modern saga of the Star Wars franchise, the new Jurassic World, so I have not gone into any of these movies since probably their first films and thought, these films are going to be good. There's going to be aspects of this film that I'm going to really like, because I know I'm not going to like any aspects to it. The only aspect of probably Jurassic World Rebirth that for me personally I might like is the fact that there's big dinosaurs chasing human beings, because that's always quite fun to see, you know, human beings panicking for their life as a big 30-foot dinosaur chases them. But in terms of the plot, in terms of the characters, in terms of the overall theme of the film, you know, the overriding story, let's say, of the film, it's not going to be interesting. You know, it's going to be a story that's probably taken about 10 minutes to write. The character depth is going to be literally paper thin. It's just going to be literally, let's just throw all this shit together because we want to make another Jurassic World movie, because we're going to make shitloads of money, and that's all they care about. I've said it so many times in my videos now, I feel like I'm just replaying old videos, but that is the facts of it. That is the facts of it. Scarlett Johansson, look, like I've said before, I've seen her in other films. I thought she was really, really good in Eight-Legged Freaks. Not really, it's a really shit film. But look, does she really fit the mould of a Jurassic World film? You know, people can say, well, she's just an actress, you know, it doesn't matter who they get really, she's just playing a role. But I think certain franchises suit certain cast members, you know, certain films would suit certain cast members. If you saw Arnold Schwarzenegger in a Star Wars film, you'd just think, what the fuck is he doing in that? But, you know, for me, Scarlett Johansson doesn't really fit Jurassic Park. I couldn't picture her as an actress in Jurassic World. It doesn't really seem right. But then again, I didn't really like the cast of, you know, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. I didn't think they really fitted it. I thought Chris Pratt didn't do too, you know, he wasn't too bad as the action man kind of character. But, you know, he was kind of the, what's it called? They used to call it these things in the 80s, didn't they? The action hero. He was kind of the action hero, wasn't he? Chris Pratt in Jurassic World. Yeah, fair enough. All right. Bryce Dallas Howard, you know, she's quite nice to look at, but I didn't think again that she really fit the mould of the new Jurassic World. I just feel like it doesn't really feel right. Some of the casting choices don't feel right. And Scarlett Johansson, for me, adds on to that list. I don't think she feels right for Jurassic World Rebirth. Doesn't make much sense to me, but I don't know. But the film's not going to be good. It doesn't matter who you've got in this film anyway. You could have the best actor and best actresses in the world, you know, collaborating in this film. It's going to be a load of shit either way, because the storyline's going to be crap. Like I said, the overall plot, which comes on the storyline, is just going to be awful. The character depth is just going to be... There's not going to be any. There's not going to be any depth to these characters. They're just going to be literally thrown in there. We're going to see crappy jokes, you know, flat humour, which is just going to feel and seem out of place, as it always does in these modern films. And it's not going to be a good film. Anyone, I would like to hear in the comments, anybody who thinks Jurassic World Rebirth is going to be a good film. Why do you think that? I would like to know why you think that, because for me, personally, I can't see how this film's any good. For me, a waste of time, another waste of time, just another money-making scheme. And that's all it is. That is literally all it is. I can't put it more black and white than that. But give me your thoughts, guys and girls. Subscribe to the channel as always. And I'll see you very soon for another interesting video. And if it's not interesting, I do apologise. But you have to make do. Goodbye.